Hello, Bakwetu. Good evening, everyone, wherever you are listening us from. This is TV Bakwetu. Welcome to TV Family, to Bakwetu Family. And today, we are just humbled to have our brother back, our brother Jerome. It's been a while since we saw him. But before we go into that, let me first of all welcome come with our rendition. Venna chiwempala konsoko muletu mfuira mulishani. Welcome to Bakwetu, Bakopala, Bakitwe, Chimwemwe, kwa Chavulangirilo, Awe Bandola, Vena Chifubu, Kansenshi, konsoko muletu mfuira mwaisen pomkwai. Chungulo pomkwai kwa hai muchwanis chavasahe sukwa mungu sesheke kalavo lukulu Northwestern Province Solwezi muchwaniko. How are you doing, the Solwezi people? Northwestern and Livingstone Southern Province, welcome to Bakwetu TV and welcome to the TV Bakwetu from Chipata. The Chipata people, how are we, brothers and sisters from Eastern Power? Takontabwelanso futi, tamile tirani program yanu. Bakwetu, tibwerani tibwere tikambisane. Come and take part and let's discuss. I have noticed that some few people, they are trying to brush us in wrong places, but we just have to understand that we are one Zambia, one nation, and we need to unite. And we understand and respect your opinions, and we should actually have respect everyone's opinions. So thank you so much. We have now. Let me go back to my panelist here. I have on the first one is our brother Jerome. How are you, brother Kanyika? Welcome to the program. Are you there, brother Kanyika? I think we've lost our brother there. Is in Zambia. As usual, we may have some technical issues, which are beyond our control, you know, as we are live. Well, let me go to my brother here, brother Patrick Chilufya. Mulishani ba Chilufya, mwaisen mukwai.
Endita ba mkeleva ikaufela. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome, viewers from Zambia, from all over the world, to Bakwetu TV today. We've got very interesting topics today to discuss with you. And I would encourage you to start sharing, you know, the Facebook page, you know, so that people can listen to what we're going to be discussing today. And also we encourage you to send those stars. Now over to you, Mkelebai.
Yes, mwituibu kishe kutupela kotuma stars tuyama tuma stars mutupela mkwai, bring them over for us to continue broadcasting our show. And this is how we also living in the diaspora communicate to our brothers and sisters back home. We carry the flag everywhere we go. We carry our Zambian flag, even when we are far away. But you have to remember that there is no place like home. Home is home. Tukesa, and we'll be back. Nga tutambya kumfyalo fyabe ne kuno twaikala. You will see us coming back with the no to Yibudu, to our places, to back to Zambia. We'll be there coming. Bo Jerome, Chungulo Pomkwai, Mwaisen Pomkwai. Long time, my brother. Where have you been hiding?
Yeah, Mkwai, Chungulo Mkwai. You have been running up and down, but at least today I made sure that I created time. And when I said they'll be available when I was rushing coming back home, the tire puncture. And I've just reached home, just imagine, and my hands are still very dirty because of changing the tire to the car and all that. But anyway, in all this, we are here on TV Bakwetu to share the views and what is transpiring and what is happening across the country, especially that I'm on the ground here in Zambia. Yeah, so at least I'm
Yes,
hearing a lot of, yeah.
absolutely. Actually, without actually wasting much time, let's just dive in, ladies and gentlemen. I know we don't have a ladies, but we have ladies watching. Let us just dive in, and please viewers, put up those likes and subscribe to our channels, and then you will be contributing a little bit of a fee towards the running of the show in monthly subscription, something like that, and then you will be a permanent member, and then we're gonna bring you into our family, because we have some projects going on behind closed doors. Let me not preempt. Anyway, let's talk about Jerome. Could you kindly run us through and tell us what is happening home? We hear, of course, we have been told about the fuel, the hiking price of the fuel today. We they have increased by 4 kwacha, and I know that many Zambians are a little bit confused. They don't know who to put a blame to, because we always blame. But has the government done the right thing, considering the fact that they have inherited a huge debt that was carelessly mishandled, that was carelessly spent on our behalf by the previous government? I know many people don't want us to talk about PF this, PF that, because PF is not in the government any longer. It is now UPND. Yes, UPND has come in, and we are going to talk about UPND, but we cannot talk about UPND's success yet, because they have not started yet. Right now, we are still reigning over PF's works, what they have done for us, what they have done to the country. Is it, have we benefited as Zambia, as a country, or are we in trouble? And if we're in trouble, how do we mitigate this challenge that the PF left us with? How do we get our money back? Where do we go from here? What, Jerome? Was the increment of our commodities the right thing to do by the government of the day to mitigate the challenges that the PF left us with? Take it up, my brother. Share with us what is on the ground back home. Thank you.
I think thanks for that, Vom Kerabai. And I think we need to understand one thing here. I think people need to understand the background of everything. You see, we had issues of subsidy on fuel. We had issues of subsidy on electricity. And also we had the issues also of subsidy on fertilizer. You see, but now we'll not talk about the fertilizer, but to talk about the issues of electricity and fuel. On a monthly basis, Zambia was spending 67 million subsidy on fuel. 67 million US dollars, not kwacha, US dollars, and 40 million US dollars on electricity. And this money, at the end of the month, we are spending about 107 million US dollars, which we were given in terms of subsidy. And when you check very well, you'll find that this subsidy is not like the money was going to where we are buying the fuel from. No, the money was going to the transporters, the company that were transporting this fuel. And as a result, it was discovered that the people transporting this fuel were the ministers. You see? So it was the money that was used by a small clique of people at the expense of a larger population. You see? So what really the government has done is, look, we cannot be subsidizing a clique of 10 people where millions of people are suffering and are contributing, and you are making them feel like they are the one who are benefiting. Well, they are not the one benefiting, but you, the transporters, are the one who are benefiting. So what we are going to do is we are going to remove this. And once we remove this, then we will let the price of fuel flow. And this is what government has done. And when you check very well, you understand that we have a president with a vision now in State House. We have a president with a vision now in State House. We didn't have a president with a vision, but now we have a president with a vision. Why have I said so? On the 22nd of January, we'll be voting in Kabata. There are by-elections in Kabata on the 22nd of January. But the president said, look, let me lose my popularity where I do the right thing. And this is the right thing he has done, removing the subsidy, and whatever which will happen there, he said, I don't mind, but I want to serve the Zambian people. Why is he saying this? In January, do you know that no child at school will be allowed to pay the school fees? Where is the money going to come from? This is the money we are going to use to make sure that then every child gets the school fees. Every child goes to school without paying anything.
Now,
Do you know that?
Before you go any further, my brother, let me just come in. I want to ask you a question before you go ahead. Hold that thought. You brought out an issue here where you mentioned that the transporters happened to be it turned out to be the ministers, or rather the people that were in the government. A question that I want to ask you, my brother, we deal, you know, Bakwetu Pano, we deal with facts. We want to know, do you have, can you give an example of which minister, for example, that, of course, which minister do you think was involved in the transporting fuel, or whose company was involved in transporting fuel? Do you have a specific minister so that we know one or two people? Because instead of generalizing things, it's like we're speculating. So let's deal with facts so that when we go to the records, we have something to point at, like we do with Faith Musonda, because we have the fact that she was caught with money. So give us an example, my brother.
You see, let me not preempt some of the issues that is being done in the background, but I can assure you that the Zambians will know very well which ministers or government officials were involved in the transportation of the fuel and who were the main beneficiaries of the same subsidy. Very soon we'll know, but let me not preempt or say or name people that the other investigative wings in the government are doing. But this is the information which is there. just like I've mentioned, to say fuel, we were spending 67 million US dollars. Electricity was spending 40 million US dollars. These are factual figures that we were spending. And this money we were spending, and this money was consumed by a minimal, a tiny people, a group of people who were controlling the transportation of this fuel. And as a result, they were the main beneficiaries who were pretending as if the Zambian people were the one who were benefiting from this. No, the Zambian people didn't benefit at all. But I'll not mention the names, but very soon the Zambian people will know who were involved in the...
Muletino kukakwa.
No. Chino nkakwa si nkukakwa kwene cha last icho chene cho nkutina. Yeah,
Okay. Well, Patrick.
But let me
Sorry,
end
but Jerome, just hold that thought, my brother. I want us to just participate and discuss. Tulipansaka. I want you guys to feel at home. And we want also our audiences to also participate. To allow Berengama SMSs, and we want you also to come in. There's a link, I think, in the where you can just click and then come in and take part in this. We are an open Bakwetu, we are open family. So come in and participate. So what, Patrick? What's your take? So we just hold on.
Yeah, thank you, Mkelebai. But Jerome, as usual, it's a pleasure to see you, and I can see that smile. Hope we don't have another Black Friday today. You know what I'm talking about.
No. You see, in this one, we see today is very difficult because, there's information we need to give the people so that we tend to get another Black Friday.
No, but Jerome, when we heard that the government was going to remove the subsidies on fuel and electricity, we were so alarmed. We were worried that things are going to go bad. And not only that, UPND, including our president, HH, campaigned and even came into power at the backdrop of, improving, the quality and the standard of living of Zambians. And that meant reducing the fuel prices, electricity prices, which were so high. And then when we heard that there were going to be increments on petroleum products, including electricity, we were so worried. But Jerome, I know this is gonna, obviously, the ripple effect. When electricity and fuel is increased, everything is gonna go up. But the difference, Jerome, between that government of the cliques, and this government is the truth. Ba PF balera that balepela ama subsidies ku bantu. Tabaletupela, balepela banawa ama transporters. So those subsidies, 67 million kwacha dollars on fuel alone, $40 million on electricity, 107 million. That money was ending up in their pockets. But then this government comes in. Yes, I know there's so many politicians who are trying to gain mileage on this. This is said by PF. Na barabambia wapokela maziro. Pama ni mwana bamwa wapokela maziro. Chilefo kwa lumbulesha. Now I'm excited sana. Thinking bakapuka kwa ma 20 ku kabwata. From zero. But one thing that has impressed me about this government, this is not because I'm UPND, but it's because I'm Zambian. They've explained. Anthony Walia was all over, gallivanting everywhere, trying to explain the rationale behind this situation. But Jerome, I can summarize this by saying, Indekenga ileima, what's the point of ina pwendek? Indekenga ileima, you know that yaliva bumpy sana. is so bumpy. But in the African Mulpa crowd, the 33 or somewhere, yeah, stabilize. This is what these guys are trying to do. They want it to be bumpy now, and then imagine in the bumpy. Say you're flying from London to Johannesburg, so bumpy. Are you gonna enjoy that ride? But Paranga lets the take off. You have a bumpy, you don't care because you know that at one point it's gonna stabilize. So what these guys are saying is, let's suffer now and then enjoy later. So they've explained very clearly, very methodical, that 107 million, but Jerome, it's a lot of money. They can use that 100 million to cushion the kwacha, because kwacha, the value of kwacha is demand and supply. So the more dollars in circulation, the weaker the kwacha. That's why economies like the UK, they use gold at the reserve at the Bank of England to cushion the pound. That's why you find the pound is very strong all the time, because they've got gold. Us, we don't have gold. We've got dollars. So, and not only that, that money is going to be used for something else. And then by Jerome, say we're looking at the kwacha going down up to about 12 kwacha to $1. And you know that we import everything, including crude oil. So now imagine that Jerome, kwacha is 10 to $1. Then which means everything is going to go down, because we import almost everything. So what these guys are doing is they are planning for the future. Let's suffer now. Let people laugh at us now. Let us, but Zambians are not stupid. I've been, when I heard that they are doing this, I was so worried I couldn't sleep. And then I started going through the social media. Zambians are not stupid. Because of social media, and this government has been using the social media to explain what they have done. People understand what this government is doing. Because but Jerome, if you explain to the people, this is what you're doing, and not Tukubabe Pobofi, that previous government was a government of liars, Obofi, propaganda, yeah, and they want to come back by Jerome to come and get that to come and partake of that $107 million.
Bachirufia, on that,
Zambians understand and they appreciate what
I have a question for you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Bachirufia, before Jerome comes in. Where do you think the money is? Where is the money that these people used to borrow or used to get? What have they done with the money? How do we mitigate this problem? How does UPND, what's your suggestion? What would you suggest? What do they have to do with, what are we going to do about this currency, stabilizing the currency? And how do we fix these kelenkas who still holding on to chunks of money that opobale lara no kulala male monama videos bare tambish? This question is going to go to you, both of you. I want you to answer me, and in your own personal opinion or experience, I want you to advise the government. How do we mitigate this? How do we bring the Zambian kwacha to a stable currency? But I'm starting with you, Bachirufi.
Yeah. The other thing is, there's so many things that are involved in stabilizing the kwacha. Yeah, and obviously, in our situation, we import everything. So the only way we can stabilize the kwacha is to export more and bring more money from copper, and prevent, obviously, tightening the foreign exchange regulations. When you look at companies like ShopRite, whatever they make, they send the dollars to South Africa or the rands. The copper mines, when they sell the copper, they externalize all the money. So if that money was coming in, then it was going to cushion the kwacha. That's the only way for us we can, like I told you, the situation of the UK. The UK imports almost everything, but they've got the gold, and the economy also is very stable, very strong. So whenever they see the pound losing value, then they know that everything is going to go up. They sell the gold to the people and everywhere, and then the pound stabilizes again. But there's another aspect, Bamukelebai. We've been receiving a lot of, you know about that. We've been receiving a lot of requests from people, because if you remember, during the elections, banks complained that there were huge withdrawals of money, cash. People were withdrawing the cash. And after the elections, I think that Jerome, you would support me, you are in Zambia. There is a shortage of kwacha in circulation. And usually, when there is shortage of kwacha, because what happens is banks have been given a limit of how much kwacha they can keep. So the rest, they have to take it back to Bank of Zambia and then bring it back. So after my elections, Mamukelebai, that kwacha has just disappeared. Bank of Zambia doesn't have that kwacha. There is a shortage, isn't it, Jerome? Some cash machines didn't even have kwacha. So which means the kuli kwacha ku Bank of Zambia, which means people are keeping the cash somewhere. I would give an example, Mamukelebai. The kwacha that Faith Musonda had, 65 million. So imagine if Faith, just a journalist, can have 65 million and $57,000. How many are the big fishes having? So a lot of people, including banks, people working in the bank, are suggesting that why can't we agitate? Why can't we advise the government to change the currency? Because there is already a shortage of cash. So anyway, when there's shortage of kwacha in the circulation, the Bank of Zambia has to print new kwacha, because the Bank of Zambia has got a number of kwachas they need to have in circulation, and that money is not there. So instead of printing the same notes, why can't the government print the new notes? Especially, they can start with the 100 kwacha and 50 kwacha, the big notes.
So that
so that now the money those criminals have kept, they can start bringing it. But that's when they will catch them, because they will panic. Imagine somebody is holding on 100 million. Munganda, first at 65 million. So we can speculate.
Yes.
And there's no money in circulation. So if somebody is having 200 million, what is he gonna do? He will be trying to talk to a Jerome, to yourself. Can he help me to change the money? And at that time, they will start catching them. Yes. And we can have that cash coming into the coffers.
Yes.
Even before we print the new money.
Thank you for that.
You, Jerome.
That was a wonderful. Well, Jerome, what's your take? I know I had cut you on the first statement that you were trying to explain, but I wanted us to be pansaka, like discussing. I don't want you to discuss alone, but I want to involve Chirufia, and we can also involve our colleagues on the those who are watching, so that we read their statement. But Chirufia, I think you do me a favor by reading, and also the technician can light up bring up the text on the screen, so that viewers can read.
But Percy, can you bring back the last comment?
All right. While technician is doing that, let's hear Jerome. Please go ahead. What's your take over this?
You see, we need to understand very well that what was found in the coffers, like the president confessed last time to say, we have inherited empty coffers. And besides that, besides the president mentioned that we have inherited empty coffers, the president has gone further to say every money that we collect through the taxes, it goes to pay CDF. All the CDF for all the constituencies, even the constituencies that didn't receive, they say have been given. All the money that we have received, it has gone through the taxes. It has gone to pay the equalization fund for councils. And all the councils were paid November, December equalization funds. They have that money in their accounts. November, December, they have it. All the money, despite the president mentioned that we inherited empty coffers. Besides that, they have gone further to say we had about 2.2 billion debt, the money we owed suppliers for drugs. What the government did, the government released about 1.5 billion kwacha. You see, despite all the issues of inheriting the empty coffers, this is what people fail to understand. Now, the government is saying, look, we need to go to a point where we need to start stabilizing ourselves. How do we stabilize ourselves? Let's make a proper policy in the mines. Some people are attacking us to say, why are you not taxing the mines and you have gone to IMF? They should understand one thing. First, stabilize the running of the mines. As you stabilize the running of the mines, then you'll be able to collect the taxes that you need once the business is stabilized. Besides that, we are not collecting tax, but we have said we are going to make sure that the electricity that is going there, it is cost reflective. That is all enough. How much electricity does the mines use? A lot of electricity. So we are moving in the right of stabilization. Besides that, we have introduced other policies that are going to help out the Zambians, especially the Zambian companies, to upgrade or have something to do to themselves. The president, wherever he goes, he says, I'm going to give each constituency 25.7 million kwacha for CDF. And this money, I want 20% of this money should go to women and the youth. And people should form cooperatives. Do you know the meaning of that? The president thinks of opening up cooperatives and having capacity or building capacity in the Zambians. As a result, it will be very easy to build and stabilize the economy.
Mm.
So this
No.
there.
Yes. No. Thank you so much. That's very thoughtful. But Chirufia, could you kindly read through some of the comments? At least four comments, and then we move on to we continue with our discussion. Let's involve our viewers. I just wish next time we could also have a call-in program so we could listen to other people to speak. That would be also awesome. But otherwise, Chirufian, Jerome, that was a very wonderful explanation and an idea. Ifo tulefua timpia shiriabaiva ba kelenka shibwele.
Okay,
Yes, please.
Mamkeleba, there is one there, Kaunda Kangwa. Maybe you should explain in layman's language how people will suffer now and enjoy later. I think Bakaunda, we explained on that. We said, obviously, prices are going to go up now because of the increase in fuel. But then the government will be saving about $107 million in both electricity and fuel fuel products subsidies. That money will be used to make sure that the kwacha is stable. And then when the kwacha, like now, the kwacha is about 16 to $1. When the kwacha drops, say, up to $10, 10 kwacha to $1, everything is going to go down because we buy crude in kwacha, we buy goods in kwacha. So this is what the government is trying to do. And then I will read another comment. Tasha Taskings. Removing subsidies is good, is a good move. Zambia just need to understand what's going on to appreciate more especially on the ground. CZ people Zambian people use emotion than brains when they were reacting to the situation in Zambia. The government needs to shed more light in explaining things in simple terms for the sake of those who are slow in understanding and learning. So what people are saying is a lot of people understand what is happening now, but then the government needs to go further and explain to a layman. That's just like what Kunda has said. What does this mean to them? Because otagamba kulondera mu kisungu ati chakosa, I think abantu they won't understand. But otherwise, a lot of Zambians have been to school. They've gone up to grade 12. They understand what this government is doing. But what about abali kumishi? Nabashasambirira. Thank you, Bamkerebai. Over to you.
No, actually, abantu bafwire bakita understand, and it's true ba government, ofachule lomba kukuli ba government ba UPND na ba alliance babo, bafwire bakita bwino tabulate, bakita explain to the people what does this mean. They've just come into power few months ago, 4 months ago. And today, they are making now those stringent rules or making adjustments on how to make their programs work to the benefit of the people. So they have to explain in a simple terms, like everyone says. Otherwise, there are people who are trying to challenge the government and start calling them that they lied in the first place when they were talking of Tukachita reduce event. But what the government was doing when they were promising those things, little did they know what they were going to inherit. Tabaishi byofu bakasanga mu bank mu Zamtrup account katushi waleita Zamtrup in our coffers. They were just surprised. The moment they came into power, they were just shocked. For the president of the Republic of Zambia to stand on the podium and tell the Zambian people to say the coffers are dry. Do you honestly people think that is a joke? And then we see people that have bought helicopters. We see people that have built houses, mansions. We see people that have done a lot of things using the same money that we are missing in our coffers. And then you want to blame the government, the current government that has not even started working yet. And to watch the blame at no, they are the people, they are the cause that they lied. They never lied. Do you honestly think Akainde Ichilema and his group would sink so low to be elected, and then they come and trash what they've been promising you people of Zambia in the middle of some by-election, or very soon this is their first term of office? I don't think they will do that. What they have done, this government has done, is trying to save you and me. We monokutirati vachita increase fuel yi, then apapene chapo mukachula. Nava mikwatila plani kalamba sana wa government mwewe kalachala. Nava mikwatila plani kalamba sana, and impia you are going to enjoy the dividends yourselves. Wait and see. Be patient. We know it is not going to be easy. That is why tighten your belts. I think nava akainde baletwe bachimochine. Bamwanawasa bashiretwe bachimochine. We have to sacrifice a little to have the economy move in the right direction. And naifobene le loba akainde baletweva. Let's just hold on. Let's hold on. Let's tighten our belts It will shake people here and there, but you should not lose your focus on your price. Let's focus on the development of this country. I promise you, this government means well. There's a huge difference between ba PF na ba UPND. President wenu aleni nendeke komesho. You have not even said anything about that. Then le lobachite increase ka petrol. Then mwambo kubatuka. Mwambo kubapela mashinati balebe pa babufi. Awe. It's too early. Mwema Zambian is too early. Na sheni kwe milomo. Ikale ni panshi. Lole sheni ofa balefo kumichitila. Uyu muntu na mikwatila plani ikalamba sana. Let's wait and see what is going to happen. He's not going to kill you. No. He's there to support and protect the interest and bring back the economy to to its normalcy. Apatuli, the normalcy is not there. So everybody for kuchitaba akainde kona ziba batakuwelezeza wa akainde kuti batise economy baive hande kulirukwane kukwanisa likaze lubatakuleka kamuso. Bulukela kamuso sungila mailo. So do not listen to these people who are busy trying to negate the president and the UPND government and try to bring them down, calling them names. Do not listen. Don't give them that. The moment you listen to them, and then it means that you have fallen prey. They have the capacity. That's why mule mona efficace bale pay life. 3 months in office bale fokulate efficace. My brother Jerome, your take.
Yeah. I think I hear you. And the thing that people are trying to say is the president lied on the campaign manifestos. No, the president didn't lie. And today the vice president was in parliament and he mentioned the same thing to say, we didn't lie and we are going to fulfill all what we campaigned for. Look, what will be the point of reducing fuel to 10 kwacha while your economy is in bad shape? It is again going to eat everything, and all the campaign manifesto that we are given, all the campaign points which were given will not be achieved. As we are speaking, yesterday the Minister of Finance mentioned to say in June, when this program runs very well, we are going to push in for supplementary budget. And in that supplementary budget, we are going to fix the meal allowances for students. You see, we are going to fix the meal allowances for students. People are complaining about meal allowances, but the government says we are going to fix by June. Why? Because the Minister of Finance has calculated that by June we are likely to have this amount of money, and the country economy will be moving by this direction. Not only that, the minister again, the president campaigned over the issues of free education. And already free education, they have said to say, we are going to make sure that the free education is provided from grade 1 to 12. And no one is allowed to pay. They started saying boarding house, boarding what? On the boarding schools again, those who are vulnerable, the money is in the CDF. Once the CDF committee or the social welfare recommends that this person na kwatama points asuma wama grades asuma free boarding, and the parents cannot afford paying a 1 pin per term, they are going to be recommended to be given a bursary, and that's the bursary that the government talks about, not for tertiary education, no. So when you check very well, you may fail to understand what people are trying to complain about. Are they just trying to play politics, or they want to meet with the reality? The person we should feel pity for is President Hakainde Hichilema. When there are by-elections, which you saw how PF was behaving, but UPND has gone further to implement bold decisions at the expense of its popularity, meaning that a leader has a vision and wants surely to make sure that Zambia gets where it's supposed to be. PF found a dollar at 5 kwacha. When PF was leaving, the dollar was at 18 kwacha. From 5 to 18. Are people not seeing that? And but Patrick, to check the
It was
PF,
23, my brother. It was 23.
23.
The
You
dollar
see,
when PF was leaving, the kwacha was the dollar was the kwacha was on 23.
you see, but Patrick, when you check very well, all those Division 1 or degree order civil servants, the UPND government has given them 1,600 across the board as salary increment. Not come June, come January, every civil servant will have a 1,500 as the increment. They have increased the salary by 12%, while PF increased by 3% after a dry spell. They went further to increase housing allowance, while PF didn't do anything about housing allowance. So when you check very well, this is the government. That means, well, and that is telling you to say, we have removed the subsidy, but this subsidy we have removed, it has come back to you. We are giving you the Zambian people. So why should we try to attack the people who are trying to do the best? And besides that, they have said, we are removing this subsidy, but besides removing this subsidy, we are going to employ 30,000 teachers, 11,200 health workers, and we are going to make sure that all your hospitals have drugs. Who doesn't want such kind of good right? And moreover, provided your child is at a government school, it's a free education. Who doesn't want that? Today, I was discussing with one of the members of parliament from the rural areas, rural constituencies. I asked them to say, you are complaining about the subsidy in fuel. Let's face the reality. Among your electorate in your constituency, which is a rural constituency, how many drives vehicles? He couldn't answer. No, let's be realistic. If you mean well for your people, but again, how many of your constituencies take children to school in your constituencies? He just said, no, my brother, what you're saying is, I can count my constituency people who drives vehicles. Vanashani, Mr. Shani drives vehicles. But when I talk about schools, everyone takes their child to school. And we don't have private schools, we only have government schools. I told them to say, check the hospitals and the clinics. Which of your constituency member doesn't go to the hospital clinic? They mentioned to say they go to the hospitals and clinic. Then what is your take over this matter? Do you think the government has done something wrong? They just said no, the government has done something right. And this is what we need to tell the Zambian people, to say this government means well. And they are not hiding anything. They are very honest in whatever they are doing. Let me end here for now.
Yes, my brother. Thank you. Wachirufia, be brief,
Yes,
and maybe we again. I would suggest that we read the comments as well. Of course,
that's what I'm trying to do.
yes, just read
Yeah.
through the comments, and unless we have people that are about to come online, and then we can also entertain them and hear what they want to say, their contributions. So
Yeah.
could you kindly get? We
So
have
I'm gonna read
on the
that
screen.
I'm gonna read that comment on the screen, and then I'll just make one comment to support what Jerome said. We've got a comment there from the Agai Kayamba. Is it possible for the government to introduce price control committee so that when the kwacha gains against the dollar, the prices also goes down, because there's a tendency of increasing prices when to reduce they maintain the same prices. I think what Bakayumba is saying is true. I don't know whether this has worked in Zambia or can work in Zambia, but in the UK, that's a system they use, because the fact that it's demand and supply. Okay, the price of fuel is because of price and is because of demand. So when crude oil prices go up in the UK, they reduce demand and supply. They reduce the price on at the petrol station. That's what Bakayumba is saying. And also, when there is so much demand for one product, the price go up. Like in the UK, unlike in Zambia, in the UK, diesel is more expensive than petrol because there is more demand for diesel than petrol. So what Bakayumba is saying is true. Can Zambia introduce the price control committee? It can be done. I think it's a good suggestion so that people can enjoy the benefits of price reductions when the kwacha improves. Say, if the kwacha improves from appreciates from 16 kwacha to $1 to 10 kwacha to $1, even 5 kwacha, then which means fuel prices also should reduce.
Absolutely. I think
Thank you,
thank you so much for that insightful explanation. We are remaining with 9 minutes. I want us to wrap up, and as we are wrapping up, we can see that we have a brother here that kale mwabakwisa mwiso mwapisembe bawishima.
I'm a busy. Mulishani, how is everyone?
Tulivye wino mwaisen mkwai. Imwe banani. I want to know, and therefore I move a brief, therefore kwishiva your position and your suggestion to those that are trying to undermine the efforts of the new Dawn government for having increased the fuel.
Okay, thank you. I'll try and be very brief. And I'll go straight to the point. The issue of subsidies was always going to happen, whether the PF won the elections or the UPND. The only difference is the UPND are being very, very honest about it, and they are telling us a very crisp, clear plan of what they are doing. And they are telling us to say the subsidies that have been going on were not honest. They were only going to a few people, a very little clique of people who are taking that money into their pockets. But the UPND are telling us very clearly where they are going to put this money to. And this money is going to come to you and me. You know, where we are sat, including where we are all sat here, everyone is going to feel the benefit of this. Those subsidies were going to a little clique of people. And actually, when you talk about the other people we are gaining out of this, were the big corporates, the miners owned by foreigners. You know, I'll talk a little bit about electricity and the subsidies that were going on there. The mines in Zambia consume a lot of the electricity. What you and I consume in our homes is just a tiny bit of what goes on in Zambia. So if you take away the subsidies and everyone starts paying the real price,
that we consume just 16% of electricity.
Exactly. Thank you.
16%.
16%. You know, with the everyday people. So if we make the mines pay a reflective price, it means actually they are going to be putting more in the coffers than they have been doing, you know. So for me, it's a good thing. Yeah, it looks bad because obviously it's going to hit people in the pockets. But when you look at the bigger picture, every one of us within a year or two will be very happy because we'll be able to go to school. We will be able to go to the hospital and be treated in time, be given the right medication that we need.
So in short, the government will be able to save enough money to purchase what the people have been promised to. Yes, that for example, because there's no, like you heard Bo Hamududus previously said, there's no free education. Even when the government is giving you free education, they are the one that are going to foot the bill in one way. So they have to have money. We have to have money in the coffers for the government to pay for those children that have no capacity, isn't it? And providing also hospitals, medications in hospitals, unlike what used to happen in the previous government. So in I want in everyone here to just run through your 1 minute conclusion before we come to an end of the program, unless people want us to continue and talk about it for another 30 minutes. But for now, we're gonna end the program in for just an hour. So in 4 minutes. So I'll start with you, Jerome. Your conclusions, your remarks.
Yeah.
Concluding remarks, please.
I think in my concluding remarks, I will say, please, the person who has sacrificed more than anyone else is the president himself. And seeing that the party is going into some elections or by-election in Kabwata, then it decides to stand for the bold decision, which the opposition are trying to use as propaganda. But as much as we can do, once every January reaches, every parent were running up and down with headaches to look for school fees. But I can assure you this year, even the New Year and Christmas break will make so much sense, because all the parents that have children from the government schools, they will not be running up and down for school fees. So meaning that more money will be in their pockets. This is the real more money in your pockets than the previous more money in your pockets, which didn't happen or been actualized. So as much as we may talk fuel, imagine now, this is a parent who doesn't even have a vehicle at their place. So that will be enough money for them. Yeah, let me end it.
Tunasakulirako chikuma cha mwaza bo Jerome. Kanabe samulopwe ba chilufya. Your 1 minute.
Thank you, Mkelevai.
Actually, make it 30 minutes, 30 seconds. I mean,
yeah, most of our colleagues here, they've explained it very well. You know, the rationale behind these subsidies. To start with, only a clique of thieves, criminals, obviously those people connected, the elite were enjoying those subsidies. You've all explained that, we've agreed that, and Zambians were not enjoying. No medication in the hospitals. No, people couldn't take their children to school because they couldn't afford. You've talked about school fees and meals for the poor children. You've talked about medication, and and then we've talked about the mines. My brother, Mr.
Malama.
Malama. Sorry. My brother, Mr. Malama, mentioned a very important point. Can you believe it? The mines were enjoying our subsidies for electricity, which is very, very important.
It's a scandal.
So if the mines pay more money, then which means ZESCO will be stable. ZESCO will pay more money, and not only that, they sell tax there. Here we call it VAT. Yeah, so which means the mines will pay more money, then there will be VAT, more VAT more government. And what does the government use the money for VAT? Which temiti? kutwala abana ku skulu, kulipira ama salaries, and then Bamala Mawesu, 30,000 teachers will be employed in the next 5 years or so. 10,000. You know, the government is the biggest spender in every economy. Now, we were in a situation whereby the government didn't have the money. It was just paying the clicks and in Congole. But this government is saying we're going to put that money into circulation. And then when there is that money in circulation, it creates a lot of jobs. Imagine 30,000 people being paid. Then if I calculate, if say average 3,000 kwacha, how much
Thank
money?
you.
And then how much money are people going to buy markets? And I'm going to buy just 1 second, 15 seconds. Then the issue of changing the currency. Somebody mentioned that it's expensive to change the currency. But again, it's expensive for the government to print money because there's no money in circulation. There's no kwacha. So what the government does is, if there's no money in circulation, it's not in the bank, it's not in Bank of Zambia, they print. But what we are suggesting here is, instead of printing the same currency, print a different currency. The UK did that. When they started printing the money, they started with the, I think Mamalama, you know, with the 5 kwacha.
Yeah.
And then they moved to the 10 kwacha. And then they moved to the 20 kwacha. Now they are about to change the 50 kwacha. So what we are suggesting in Zambia, instead of printing Sean say, let me just finish. They can print 150 kwacha. And then you see how the criminals are going to panic. Because they have to bring that money. They have to render it.
Bakabwesha.
I submit.
Bakabwesha. Mwisakamana ba Patrick Bakabwesha. No. Thank you so much for having listened to our program. We have shot by only 2 minutes, so we would have loved to have continued. However, time is not with us. We started a little bit late, so you will forgive us for that. Otherwise, this has been TV Bakwetu, and please remember to subscribe and share this link to other viewers. And thank you so much. And my last word I can say is that Volungu is the person we can blame today. Whatever we are passing through, I would point a finger at Volungu, say, Eba Lungu, ba Edgar Changwa Lungu, this is you. This is all your doings. Had you put the economy in order, we were not going to have this problem right now that we are facing. So, having said that, no, my brother, time has gone. I'm afraid
that's fine.
we can discuss in the background. I'm afraid. My apologies.
Okay.
Otherwise, I know that you have something to say, but I just wanted to use my chairmanship, my power to simply speak to Volungu. You are the reason we are in this mess. And let HH work and bring this country in order. Let him resuscitate this economy. And we are on the right track. Luitumes, this has been TV Bakwetu. Thank you so much. God bless Zambia and God bless everyone. Luitumes, Muzue Hande Mpilandi.